All right, all right. What's up, everyone? Good to see you. Welcome, all of you here early. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to get going here in just a moment. We're going to give people a moment or two to come on in, get settled in, get your beverage of choice in place. I got my glass of water here. I'm going to go ahead and get hydrated. I hope all of you are doing amazing. Hope you're fantastic. And we are going to have ourselves a really, really good session. So thank you so much for being here. Can you guys hear me okay? So how about put a note in the chat if you can hear me coming through loud and clear? That would be most helpful. I would so appreciate that. By the way, when you see me looking down like this, I'm just looking down at my laptop I got right here. I can see the chat. Please drop a note in the chat if you can hear me. That would be most helpful. And it looks like you can hear me, which is amazing. That's awesome. Hey, let's officially start. All right. So everyone, I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you're having an incredible day. We have a lot of people here live. We have a lot of people who will be watching the recording. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for enrolling with this webinar, for signing up for this webinar. It means the world to me. I, of course, am your host, Eric Thompson. We're going to have a great 45 minutes together. And all of you, the kind of people who are here, all of you are leaders and managers, you're coaches, you're in that kind of position where you influence a lot of people. And what I have to tell you, all of you are my favorite people to work with, right? I love working with realtors, and I really love working with people like you because I love the idea of the impact that it makes. So if I can help you because you help a lot of people, then I can help a lot of people, right? So I love helping people who are in a role to help lots of other people. That like fills me up, right? It really jazzes me up, fills up my energy tank. So I'm fired up for today. All right. So what's going to happen today in these 45 minutes? You are going to get a ton of takeaways related to how to get people re-engaged, how to get your agents unstuck. All right. I'm going to give you some very simple, almost like hack kind of strategies that will make an impact right away. You need to know also that everything I'm going to share with you today, it's totally proven. Okay, so it's absolutely proven to work. No doubt about that. There's a lot of science, a lot of psychology that's embedded in what I'm going to show you. Never fear, there's no test or anything like that. So you don't have to be stressed out about a test. I won't put you on the spot with anything like that. And then lastly, you need to know, we're gonna have some fun, all right? So is that cool with you if we have some fun together? Please say yes if you're down with having some fun. All right, so let's have some fun. One thing I want you to know up front, and again, welcome. We have a few people that just came in. Welcome to you. You can drop a note in the chat to say hello. You can also use the Q&A. I'll be looking at that as we go along. We're here for 45 minutes. What you need to know, if you haven't done this already, look, if you're a helpful person, and I know that you are, you need to go to this website, masterrealestatecoach.com. You need to go there. You need to apply for my next session, my next round of Master Real Estate Coach training. This is where I coach you how to coach. You will come out of this totally equipped, completely empowered, very clear, very confident about how to help other people, how to be most helpful to other agents, how to coach them, how to coach a veteran, how to coach a rookie, how to run group coaching, how to get people more productive in your company, in your office, how to keep people around, how to retain them, how to have them be more profitable for you, how to get some balance back into their life so they feel really grateful to you, all the things, right? Everything related to coaching is right here. So go to this website, okay, masterrealestatecoach.com. You see that you can apply for my next session. You can get an information kit that tells you all about it. Make sure that you do that, masterrealestatecoach.com. Okay, let's go, shall we? Let's go. All right, so again, the kind of people who are here, all of you are in leadership, management, coaching kind of roles. And here's the deal, right? Here's the deal about your company. The thing is, inside of your company, you have lots of people right now who are totally engaged. They are very much adding to the culture. They are productive. They're having results, even in the face of a slowing market, an economy that has all kinds of uncertainty attached to it. Even in the face of that, they're thriving, or at least doing really well. They're showing up, they're participating, they're at your sales meetings, they're at your company events, they're in the office. You're having active conversations with them, right? You're super engaged with these people. You have a lot of these people. But you know what you also have? You have people that are out here on the outside, right? So these are the stuck and disengaged people. How did I do with my stick figures, by the way? Did I do okay with this? Inside you have all these happy, very engaged people, but then you have also these on the outside. And we don't like to think about the fact that we do have these kind of people, but the reality is we do have these kind of people, right? So maybe they're just slightly disengaged and checked out and stuck, or maybe they're really disengaged and checked out and stuck. And so here's the thing, you guys, here's the thing. We have to check in with those who are checked out, all right? So all of these people who are checked out, we must check in with them. I'm going to tell you exactly how to check in with them, how to draw them back in. Because here's the harsh reality for all of you, right? And I've lived your world. I know what it's like to run a company, to run a brokerage, to run an office, to manage people, to coach people. I've done what you do, and I know what it's like when you have these people. And the reality is, this is a risk to you. These people that are out here on the fringes, who have checked out of your culture, who are disengaged, who are stuck, they pose a risk to you, not just because they're not productive, but they pose a risk to you because they are highly susceptible to be recruited away by another company, right? By another firm, right? Because they have detached themselves. So what's happening with these people is that they are in pain, and I'm going to tell you the kinds of pain that they're in so that we need to understand that so we can solve their pain. Because they're in pain, they are looking for solutions to that pain. So that's why it's so easy for these people to be lured away by the shiny object, by the thing that seems to be the silver bullet, by the thing that seems to be the perfect solution, the answer to their prayers, even though it's probably not, right? Even though that same thing exists in your culture, because they're checked out, because they're stuck and disengaged, they're very likely to get recruited away. So these are the ones who are likely to take the meeting from the other company. These are the ones who are likely to listen. These are the ones whose ears are going to perk up when they see and hear about other solutions to their problems. And the risk is not only that this person leaves, but all these other people see that person leave. Especially when these people see that person leave, then they start to think, well, maybe that's what I should do too. Maybe I should leave. Maybe that's the answer to my prayers. And it can start this ripple effect. It can be like, this is the first domino that falls, and then many fall after that. So my friends, this is a problem, right? So we need to not have this happen. Obviously, we need to get these people drawn back in a part of the culture. We need to get them unstuck. We need to get them re-engaged. We need to get their plane back off the ground. We need to have them participating in the culture, feeling the love, right? All of those things. That's so, so important, right? So this webinar, this time together, it's about these people out here, right? And how we're going to care for them, how we're going to draw them back in, really effective takeaways on how to help out those people so that we mitigate that risk. And of course, this assumes that these are people that we want to keep, but let's make that assumption, all right? Let's go ahead and make that assumption. I mean, gosh, you invited them in the first place. They must be great people. Let's not lose them. Let's make sure that we draw them back in, all right? So are you guys with me on that? Does that sound like a plan? Is that okay with you if we talk about how to do this, all right? So let's talk about how to do this, right? Just need to double check some technology related things. Looks like we are good. You guys with me so far? All good so far. Okay, so how we're going to start is we need to understand, why is it that these people would be disengaged? Why is it that they would be stuck in their business? And so often those things go hand in hand, right? When they get stuck in their business, it's more likely that they become disengaged. When they start being disengaged, it's more likely they're going to get stuck in their business, right? Then round and round we go, right? Those things have a direct correlation with each other. So why is it? All right, so we need to understand why before we can get into how to solve each one of these things, okay? So here's why. Here's why those people are disengaged. Here's why those people are stuck. It's one of three reasons. Sometimes it's all three together. Sometimes it's two of the three, right? But these three things show up in some combination among those people who are disengaged and stuck. They are confused, they are afraid, and or they are burnout. All right, are you with me on that? Do you see that? Like, is that a light bulb going off? Like, as you think about those, who might be disengaged and stuck in your office, in your company, can you see that's a person? Yeah, they're probably confused. There's some kind of confusion going on for them, or you're saying, yeah, they're afraid. That the changes in the market have caused them to become afraid. Can you also see that maybe they are burnt out, right? All that like robust, crazy activity that happened over the last 6 months, 18 months, 2 years, all that frantic activity that they went through has caused them to be burnt out, right? So this is why, my friends, this is why they have disengaged out of that circle. This is why they're not part of your culture, actively participating. They're confused, they're afraid, they're burnt out. So think about this. Think about what happens when someone feels each one of these ways, right? So what does someone do when they're confused? All right, what does the confused mind do? All right, so as opposed to being super clear and very confident and like seeing the exact path laid out before them, there's total confusion that's happening for them. What are they going to do? The confused mind, you know what it does? It does nothing. Okay, the confused mind does nothing. So that's why they're stuck. Okay, that's why they're stuck, because they're confused. So when there's all kinds of confusion swirling in someone's brain, they're not going to make a decision. So they're going to lock up and they're going to do nothing. And you think about you yourself. Think about a time when you were confused, and also think about all the uncertainty that we have been bombarded with really over the last 2.5 years, right? All kinds of uncertainties come our way. It creates a lot of confusion. So when someone is confused, what do? They're going to do nothing. Well, what happens when someone is afraid, right? When someone's scared, when someone feels scared, they hide, right? And that's true of like any species, including a human being. So when a human being is afraid, what do? They hide, right? People literally metaphorically hide when they feel afraid, right? So people feel afraid right now. They feel, because of all the change, right? They feel afraid of where's my next transaction coming from? They feel afraid, is the market going to collapse? Will I ever sell another home? Am I going to be able to make money? Am I going to be able to pay my mortgage? Like sometimes it like spins into these crazy fears, right? These stories that our people will make up, that they'll conjure up in their head. They become super, super afraid. So when they are afraid, they will hide. And another fear that occurs, and it's the one we're going to talk about today, is that they're afraid of coming across wrong to their clients, right? They're afraid of coming across as pushy, as cheesy, as salesy. So when someone's afraid, they're going to hide. Now, when someone is burnt out, what are they going to do when someone's burnt out? Well, you know what they do? They break down. All right. They break down and do nothing. They break down and start looking for other solutions. They break down and start not taking care of their health, right? Not taking care of their relationships. So none of these are good, right? It's not gonna be good for us if our people are confused, if they're afraid, if they're burnt out, right? And I'm sure you guys are with me on that. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to take confused people and we need to make them feel clear. We need to take afraid people. We need to make them feel confident. We need to take burnout people and we need to have them feel motivated. So imagine if all of the people in your company felt clear, felt confident, and felt motivated. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like if we could wave our magic wand, we would want all of our people to feel totally clear, to feel completely confident, and to feel absolutely motivated to take action. So guess what? The good news for you in all of your roles, in all of your positions, as in leadership management, as coaches, you influence these things. You absolutely can infuse clarity into someone's brain, into someone's business and their life. You can infuse confidence. You can give them cues and clues on how to create confidence so they feel more confident engaging with their clients. You can do things that will cause them to be more motivated and to stop feeling burnout, right? So that's what we're going to talk about next, right? Next, we're going to go into the how-to. But again, I start with this because we got to understand why it is that they are checked out, that they are disengaged, that they're stuck in the first place. Let's keep it simple. It's because of only one of these three things. Again, sometimes they show up in combination. Sometimes they show up just one of these things. But now these are the things that we're going to solve. Okay, you guys with me on that? Is that good so far? I need a drink of water, and then we're going to turn the page and rock and roll. All right, I hope you're making some notes here. Hope you're liking this so far. By the way, we go deep in all these things. The Master Real Estate Coach, I give you even more strategies. You need to check that out. Oh, by the way, masterrealestatecoach.com. Okay, here we go. Confusion. Confusion is a problem, all right? The confused mind does nothing. All kinds of things they could be confused about that create a problem. They could be confused about policies and processes. What do I do when? What am I supposed to do when I have a new listing, when I have a new buyer? They could be confused about the direction and vision of your company. Where are we going? What are we doing? What's a long-term plan? What are our goals? They could be confused about the succession planning in your company. Well, who's going to run this place one day, right? If you have ownership that's older, that creates a problem. So, but the one we're going to talk about, we could talk about all those. The one we're going to talk about today is confusion around the market. All right. So confusion around the market is a common place of confusion for agents right now, right? They feel confused about the market. Why is that? Because there's so much change in the market. Like all at once, it's not what it was before. So when they're confused about the market, it's impossible for them to pass along clarity to the client. And remember what the confused mind does. The confused mind does nothing. So when the agent is confused, the client's going to be confused. And so the client's not going to do anything. So that agent's not going to get results. And even worse, here's really the thing that's happening right now that I notice. Because agents are confused about the market, they are disengaging from their clients because they don't know what to say about the market. They are not looking forward to the question, so how's the market, right? And so us in this real estate business, in this profession, we get asked that question only all the time, right? So how's the market? And so when agents don't feel prepared, don't feel confident with an answer to that question, how's the market, when instead they feel confused, they won't engage with their clientele. They won't engage with their database, with their sphere of influence, right? With those that they normally connect with, because they don't want to be put on the spot with a question that they don't know the answer to. So because there's so much confusion in the market, what I'm noticing, what I'm witnessing is all kinds of agents, all kinds of realtors are completely pulling back in their communication because they don't know what to say. They don't know how to describe the market. So what do? All right, so we have to solve this. All right, so we have to create some confidence. We have to create some clarity. We're going to create some clarity. That says clarity, by the way. Excuse my penmanship. So here's how we create clarity. All right, here's how you do it. Here's how you can influence this. Here's how you can install clarity in someone's brain as it relates to the market. What you need to do, you need to spoon feed them answers to how's the market. You need to give them the exact answer. All right. And I'm not suggesting that our agents are not intelligent. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is you become so helpful, you become so valuable to them when they don't have to come up with this answer themselves, when you can just give them the answer. Like, okay, guys, so here's how you answer how's the market. All right. I'm going to spoon feed you the answer. All right. These are the three things that you should say. So this is the other part of it. You give them 3 nuggets of information. You give them these nuggets weekly. Okay, so what I'm doing here, this is your checklist. All right, this is your action list. This is your go do. This is what I'm coaching you to do. This is what I'm challenging you to do. Do these things. All right. Step 1, spoon feed them the answer. And what you want to do is you want to give them 3 nuggets of information every single week. All right. So at least every single week. It could be every day. But it's okay, guys. Here are the 3 things to talk about as it relates to today's market. And what you can do, this becomes really easy. You can give them what's happening with prices. So here's what you tell clients in terms of year-over-year change in prices. You talk about inventory. This is what you tell clients in terms of how inventory is changing year over year. And then you can give them the days on market. This is how days on market has changed. And what becomes really interesting is that these three pieces of information really tell the story. So again, what's happening with prices, what's happening with the inventory, what's happening with days on market. And what's true in most of your markets is that prices continue to be up, even though the market is cooling off. Inventory is up at least a little bit. In some places, it's way up over last year. In some places, it's approaching double year over year. And of course, days on market is going down, right? So these stats tell the story. So what you need to do every single week on a weekly basis, give your agents the answers to these. Here's what's happening with prices. Here's what's happening with inventory. Here's what's happening with days on market. They have that now tip of their tongue. They have it in their metaphorical pocket, ready to share with clients when they get asked the question, how's the market? And then the other piece here on your action list, you must explain to your agents and articulate and make sure they understand how your market has performed over the long term, right? So at least 20 years, hopefully you can go back further than that. So all kinds of places where you can access this data, through your MLS, through your local board of realtors, places like Case-Shiller, places like the Federal Housing Finance Authority. Any of those places you can research and discover what has been the long-term health, the long-term performance of your market. A couple of reasons why that's really important right now. One is most markets are going back to their long-term performance, right? So we're not seeing these crazy double-digit appreciation numbers anymore. We're getting back to more reasonable numbers, right? Somewhere around 4 to 5, 6, maybe even 7% year over year. That's where price appreciation is going back to. So that way, when your agents understand what that number is, they can convey that to clients. They can say, you know what, this is how our market is performed for the long term. We've appreciated around 6%. That's where price appreciation is going back to. So they can articulate that to clients. And then the other thing it does is it gives your agents some confidence in the long-term health of the market, right? So no, we don't predict anything like a market crash. All we predict is the pace of appreciation is going to slow down. And what we expect is the pace of appreciation will go back to more like its long-term performance. This is how our market has performed for long-term. That's what we expect it to do going forward. No, this double-digit appreciation just is not sustainable. We don't expect that. But now, because they have an answer, because they know how the market has performed for the long term, they're going to stop conjuring up stories in their own head about the long-term health of the market and how the market might collapse or how prices may crash, right? That goes away when someone understands the long-term health, right? So your mission as a leader, as a manager, as a coach, if you choose to accept it, is to spoon feed your people the answers to how's the market. Give them 3 nuggets on a weekly basis. You can give them these 3. Here's prices, here's inventory, here's days on market. Make sure that they understand how the market has performed for the long term. All right, are you guys good on that one? We're about to go to fear. We're about to go to the afraid question next. So let's do that next. Here we go. Afraid. Do you see some of your checked out agents afraid? Yeah. Do you see some of your stuck agents afraid? Yeah. What are they afraid of? Well, potentially a lot of things. They're afraid again of where's the market going? They're afraid of, am I going to have another transaction? Where's my next client going to come from? Have I even picked the right profession? And we could talk about all those things, but the one we're going to focus on here is this fear of being pushy. And what I'll tell you is that this is the most common thing that I come across in my coaching and all the things, all the different ways I work with agents, both brand new people and experienced veterans. What they're really afraid of is coming across as pushy, as salesy, as cheesy, as being that stereotypical used car salesperson. They just don't want to be that person, right? They're so afraid of being that person. And oftentimes what happens when they're afraid of being that person, then they totally go into hiding, right? So remember what an afraid mind does? An afraid mind hides. So when they're afraid of coming across as pushy, they're going to hide from their clients. They're not going to engage with them. They're not going to be connecting with them. And we know the problems that that's going to create in their business. It will cause them to be stuck. It will cause them to get disengaged with your office. So how are we going to solve this, right? How are we going to solve this problem of being afraid of being pushy? So we need to change this. Okay, so we need to change this to confident. Okay, so we're going to have them be confident. So here's how you do it. This is really fun. You know the opposite of pushy? The opposite of pushy is helpful. So all you have to do is coach your agents, help your agents, show your agents to be helpful, encourage them to be helpful, help them to understand that, look, you don't want to be pushy. I get that. You know the opposite of pushy? Just be helpful. And anyone will resonate with that. All of your people will resonate with that. And you will watch them light up. You'll watch them get excited. You'll watch them smile and they'll say to you, you mean all I have to do is just be helpful? Like, is that all I have to do? Like, I don't have to sell them. I don't have to be pushy. You know, I don't have to like chase after them. Like all I have to do is just be helpful. Are you telling me that that's the answer to my prayers? And you say, yes, that's all you have to do. Just be helpful. Because think about right now, is there opportunity to be helpful in this market? Absolutely. Is there more opportunity to be helpful now than there like ever has been because of all the change, because of all the uncertainty, because of all the unique dynamics, because of, again, how rapidly things have changed? That has caused this massive opportunity for help. All right. So the way to be helpful is with these 5 words. These are my 5 favorite words. Would it be helpful if? Okay, so if they're afraid of being pushy, we flip it around and say, look, all you have to do is just be helpful. And the way to be helpful is to use these 5 words. Now, what you need to do, in addition to coaching them on that dialogue, in addition to giving them those words and coaching them to say that, what you need to do is you need to give them the assets that they can offer up as the helpful item. You need to give them the assets, or you need to show your people how to create the helpful asset. So an example of that would be, of course, the property review, right? So that one of the very best things that your people could do in order to be helpful, and something they could offer up as a way to be helpful if, would be a property review. What's a property review? It just shows clients what's happening in their area, in their neighborhood, shows them potentially what their property is worth today. It's a great thing to do today to help people out, to help them understand what's going on in the market. So you need to make it really easy for your people to create property reviews. You need to show them how, you need to give them the formula, give them the instructions, show them examples, give them the step-by-step. Maybe there are even people in your company, in your office, that can help with the creation of that. That's an example. Another example are market stats. So what market reports do you put together? What statistical packages do you put together? What videos are you creating? What social media posts are you creating? What are the assets that you're creating for your people so they have something to fill in the blank here? Would it be helpful if I got a property review into your hands? Would it be helpful if I gave you our latest market report? Would it be helpful if I got your latest video about what's going on in the market? Would it be helpful if we just did a social media post? We just wrote a blog about what's going on in the market. Would it be helpful if I got that to you? So your mission is to create the helpful item, or at least show your people how to create the helpful item so they have something, again, to fill in the blank here. That's your job. So I have found in my career, when I can create the things that fill in the blank here, when I can create the market report, the newsletter, the blog, the article, the video, the podcast, anything like that, that my agents can then offer up to their clients and as a way to be helpful, then I become what? I become super helpful. I become super valuable. I become very attractive. I help agents to get unstuck. I help them to get re-engaged, right? I draw those people in from out of the circle. So that is your job, okay? Are you with me on that? Yeah. So your mission, again, teach them the way to be helpful with language, give them the assets that they need in order to be helpful. Okay, that's fear. Last one, burnt out. People feel burnt out right now, right? So for lots of reasons. One is the frantic nature of the market over the last 2 years, right? Where agents were having to just sprint from one listing to the next. They were having to write offer after offer after offer before any got accepted. They were having to deal with dynamics they'd never dealt with before and negotiate in ways they'd never done before, escalation clauses, removing contingencies, multiple offer situations, right? All the things, literally standing in line outside of a listing, waiting for their 10-minute window to go inside and run around the property with their client before just sprinting to the next one, right? Property selling within minutes, property selling off market, clients being unloyal, right? All those things cause burnout. But the biggest one that we're going to talk about here, the biggest thing that's causing burnout is change. All people have a hard time with change. Right? Wouldn't you agree? And I'm guessing you yourself have had a hard time with the change that we've seen in the market over the last just few months. And so the specific example here, of course, are interest rates, right? Interest rates have basically doubled in the last 7-8 months. That's a massive change, a pace of change we've really not seen in our career, not seen from many of us in our lifetime. That pace of change in interest rate caused a change in the market, stock market changes, economy changes, big time changes. So change is exhausting for people to deal with, right? So when you're faced with change after change after change, it creates this feeling, this aura of instability, right? So when people don't feel stable, and I'll do this to kind of signify that people walking on shaky ground, that gets tiring. And they don't want to do that anymore. So they look for solutions to that, right? So people don't like change, they get burnout. So what are we going to do? Well, we must change the burnout to motivated. And I'm going to give you the easy way, really the one step way to get people motivated to re-engage with you, motivated to get unstuck, motivated to come back into your fold, back into the circle, motivated to be a part of the culture again, is this. All of my leader friends, it's really simple to get people motivated. Be the place that people can count on. Be the place that people can count on. Be the place that people can count on. Can they count on you? Can they count on how things work in your office? Can they count on your staff to be totally supportive? Can they count on, for example, and this is an easy one, a really great sales meeting that happens on a recurring, predictable basis, right? Is there a whole lot of predictability in your company versus a whole lot of unpredictability, right? Are you yourself a source of the change, right? Are you yourself throwing all kinds of change at your people? If you are, stop. Like right now is the time to stop a whole bunch of change because the realtors right now out in the world, the agents out there in the world, they're dealing with enough change, right? There enough change in the economy, enough change in the real estate market, enough change in their communities, enough change in politics, right? And there's enough change, right? They're saying, yeah, enough. So if you, again, you yourself are a source of the change, time out. No more change. Like just stop the change, turn into the place that people can count on. And when you're a place that people can count on, that is an amazing, wonderful, really easy, impactful way to bring those people back into the fold. You're going to push them away when you yourself are creating a whole lot of change. They're going to start looking for other answers, other solutions. Whereas you can be the stable force, the calm in the eye of the storm. Again, the place that people can totally count on. So can they count on a routine training schedule? Is there always a sales meeting? Is there always some kind of group coaching? Can they count on you and your leadership team to answer their phone and get back to them quickly about their contract questions? Can they count on your staff to be super helpful and to follow a predictable process? Can they count on that they're going to get paid in a certain amount of time after a closing? Can they count on what happens when they have a new listing or when a property goes under contract into escrow? Can they count on all of that? Like, can they count on you? Can they count on your team? Can they count on your processes? Can they count on your place? And so when you do that, you will solve burnout, right? And you will watch these people become attracted to it, right? They'll just come flocking back to you when you are the place that people can absolutely count on. Okay, so here is a summary, my friends. Here is a summary. These are the 3 reasons why someone would be disengaged and stuck. They're confused, they're afraid, or they're burnout. What do we need to do then? We're going to turn this into clarity. We're going to turn this into confidence. And we're going to turn this into motivated, right? So instead of having anyone in our company feeling confused or afraid of burnout, we're going to have all the people in our company feeling clear, confident, and motivated. Well, how the heck are we going to do that? Well, the way we do that is really easy, super easy. We're going to bring clarity on the market by spoon feeding them information about the market. What we know, they're intelligent enough to figure it out, but we're going to save them all that effort. We're going to save them the work. We're just going to give them the things to say. The easy ones are price, inventory, and days on market. We're also going to spoon feed them the answer to how the market has performed over the long term, right? Just hand-fed answers to those questions. We're going to make them feel confident by showing them that the opposite of being pushy is to be helpful. We're going to show them to be helpful, how to be helpful. We're going to give them those words, would it be helpful if? We're going to give them the assets that they can hand out to be helpful. And then how are we going to turn burnout into motivated? We're going to be the place that people can count on. So that's all you have to do. So what I would encourage you to do is to sit down with your team and look at this. These are the reasons why. This is where we're going. And so this is what we're going to do, right? And again, there's all kinds of pieces to all these, but we're just focused on these, right? So when you do that, and when you focus on, again, those that are checked out and you get them checked in with these strategies, you will watch a huge difference in your company. You will mitigate that risk of them being recruited away. That, my friends, is how you do it. Now, we have an extra few minutes. If you guys have comments or questions, I'm wide open to that. But again, what you need to do, like if you're someone who really gets into this, if you're a helpful person, and I know you are, if you want to be more helpful to more people, make an even bigger impact, be better at retaining your people, use this as a way to recruit new people to your company, help your people to be more productive, help your people to have more balance back in their life, be given the system and the method step by step, paint by number, no questions asked. You feel totally empowered. You feel totally clear when it comes to coaching your people and helping them to be better. This is where you got to go, my friends, masterrealestatecoach.com. We're launching a new session really soon. As of today, there's like 2 spots left, but it's really easy. I'm gonna start a waiting list for the next one too. So you need to go here, you need to apply. You'll see there's a button that says apply here. A few just simple, easy questions, you apply. Then I'll follow up with you, get you all the deets, all the detailed information about this really amazing program. The people who have gone through this love it. They absolutely love it. They've had so many takeaways. It's been so impactful. They're now having all kinds of people in their company be way more productive, way more fulfilled, way more engaged, just by making the simple investment of going through this program. Where you get a certificate, you actually get certified to coach. You become a master real estate coach and certified to help people out. Okay, are there any questions? Any questions at all? Again, you can use the chat. You can use the Q&A. I think we may be good on questions and comments. Let's see, I just saw something come in. By the way, when I look down here, I'm looking at my laptop. Sorry to look away from you. Question came in. Awesome question. Thank you, Eric. What is your quick answer to a quick way to tackle the third step of sharpening the processes we use? What is what's the quick answer to that? So again, we're talking about right here, be the place that people can count on. Here's a quick hack, and actually it'll impact this one as well, the confusion one. Make a list on what's confused. All right, make a what's confused list, and just go down, just make a list of what are the things that might be confusing for my people. And you may even break it down further to say what's confusing potentially for a rookie, what's confusing potentially for kind of the rising star, what's confusing potentially for my more long-term veterans. And then look at that list and decide what's the easiest one to tackle, what's the simplest, most straightforward one to tackle, and then go look at it. And I think a really easy step there is to say, okay, where's the checklist? Like, do we have a checklist for that process? And maybe we do internally, but have we shared that checklist out? Like, do people know the steps? So the way I would start, and that's an awesome question, the way I would start is make a what's confused list and see what comes up. Sit down with your team, make that list of what's potentially confused, and you'll get some amazing results from that. But really good question. Thank you for that. Other questions, you guys? Other questions, other comments, other things that you want to talk about, other things I can help you with? Make sure you go to this website, masterrealestatecoach.com, hit apply, fill out the form, get you all the details about this really amazing program. But I'll tell you, this is the thing I'm most proud of in my whole career, my whole time doing this, coaching, training, developing content. By far, this is the thing I'm most proud of, by far, because it has the biggest impact, makes the biggest difference. Check it out. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good on all the questions, all the things. Thank you all so much for being here. We had a nice turnout live, and I also know we're going to have lots and lots of people checking out the recording. And all of you are amazing, incredible. Go do great things. Keep helping out other people. I hope this was helpful. Reach out outside of this if you want with questions or comments. Find me on the social, send me an email. You know the ways. So in the meantime, have an amazing day. Thank you again for being here. So appreciate you, and hope to see you soon. Take care.